What is up, everybody? Finally, I am back and doing my thing. Oh my gosh, guys, the last 2 weeks has been not easy between not being able to put out content for you guys, but also just trying to figure out what the heck was going on with my setup. And if you didn't see the post, it ended up being my capture card. And if you don't know what a capture card is, it's essentially what allows me to grab the video game from PS5 and record it on my PC without a bunch of recording, downloading, re-uploading, and all that stuff. So I don't know why, but it was literally causing not only the capture card to not work properly, but it was also causing my PC to like freak out and shut down. So I went to the PC side first, didn't really find anything out there, changed out HDMI cords, thought that might be it. That wasn't it. Finally settled on buying a brand new capture card, which honestly, in hindsight, was probably something I wanted to do anyway. And here we are, finally back. We're back in the Bucs franchise. And man, I feel like I haven't been in this file for a while. You know, obviously I don't play the file outside of recording, so I'm gonna have to sort of catch myself back up to speed just like you guys will. I do know, however, we come off that huge win over the 49ers. Let's check that out as a little recap here. Yes, so this was the big game. We ended up winning it 41-24, and San Francisco, they made a pretty big comeback, but we dominated this game. The first half, we had 28 points. They had nothing. At the end of the third, it was 35-3. And yeah, I mean, it was an intense game. It was crazy. Tyler Chambers had one of his best performances yet. So he ended up finishing 22 of 33 for 224 yards and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Taquan Samuel had himself a big day. He actually had the majority of carries. That was partly because Rachaad White left the game for a brief little bit there with an injury. But both of them finished with over 70 yards. Samuel ended up having a touchdown. Very, very productive day on the ground for us. Rashad Barr even got a little bit of an action, which usually he doesn't. James Blake, once again, our leading receiver with 5 for 62. Taylor Wharton had some work, 5 for 51 and a touchdown. But I'm really looking forward to seeing him sort of blossom a little bit more going forward. And our defense, man, our defense shut it down. The only 2 sacks of the day came from Jermaine Johnson, and he has really come on strong the last few weeks. So all in all, it wasn't that big of a defensive performance in terms of stats. It was more of just like the way we played. We just shut it down. We didn't give them an inch. Brock Purdy was trying to find players all night. He just couldn't do it. And we ended up moving to 8-3. We have this game against the Colts. I don't think we're watching this one. I remember this last time when we were here. I think what I want to do is get through the bye week, and then we can pick things up against the Saints, against the new quarterback, Dontrell Samuel, and just see where things go from there. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to start with a sim. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Well, I will see you guys. I think I'm going to get to week 14. Yeah, I'm just going to sim to week 14, and then we'll pick things up there. Guys. I am not sure how we're getting these, but I just got another dev trade upgraded, and this one was for none other than Tyler Chambers, guys. Tyler Chambers was star, and I showed you this screen because not that it's important for you guys to see it, but I need you guys to understand that I'm not just giving my players, you know, better traits or better development traits, I should say. This is just happening from Madden. So in 2 seasons, or in 1 season, we have gone with Tyler Chambers and Rashad Barr, both of which moving up the superstar development. This is why you do your mini games every week, guys. I've never had it done to 2 players in 1 season. Never. Even when I did the video, the best I got was 1 per season. That's crazy. 2 players from this year's class, Tyler Chambers and Rashad Barr, going from having star development to superstar development. That's wild. I had to show you guys that, because I don't think you guys would believe me, considering we just had one with Rashad Barr just a couple of episodes ago. So, do your mini games, folks. Do them every time. Back to the rest of the weekly training. All right, we made it to week 14. We did win our game against the Colts, so let's go and check that out quick. It was a pretty close game. 31-28 was the final. And Tyler Chambers had probably one of his best days as a pro. 391 yards through the air, 4 touchdowns and an interception. I mean, yeah, he did have an interception, but seeing almost 400 yards passing and sort of protecting the football, that's big. We don't see that out of him a whole lot. Anthony Richardson even had himself a pretty good day. 199, 3 touchdowns, so he protected the ball as well. No turnovers. Rushing wise, we sort of got shut down. Rachaad White didn't have much to do. 14 for 42. So it was definitely a throw it everywhere kind of day, and which makes sense against the Colts. I mean, if you know the Colts, you know they have a good front seven, or at least a quality front seven, and they have a very, very bad secondary, and they're working on building it up, but they are still not there yet, even in this day and age, in this franchise file. So it makes sense that we were able to throw against them quite easily. Receiving, speaking of that, Chris Godwin, both receivers. Oh man, look at this. So Chris Godwin, 10 for 163, 3 touchdowns. Taylor Wharton, 9 for 153, 1 touchdown. Josh Downs ended up having a pretty good day, 5 for 75 and 2 scores. Jelani Woods, and then after that, it was like nobody else. James Blake, 3 for 30 is our next guy. Wow, but Godwin and Wharton both going off for huge totals. And then on defense, let's see what we had here. Sacks-wise, we had 1.5 from Vita Vea, 1 from Baker, Cansey, Golston, and 0.5 from Carlton Davis. The only interception, of course, was for the Colts, and that was Willie Gay. And then was there any... No fumbles. Okay. So there we go. We also finally get a chance to see the playoff picture now that we're in week 14. So let's take a look at that. We know we're going to be pretty high on there. We're the number 1 seed, and the 49ers, just like we thought, was the number 1 seed. So we have now overtaken them as the number 1. They are at 2. The Giants are at 3, Vikings at 4, Falcons 5, Eagles 6, and Cowboys 7. Let me tell you guys right now, if the Vikings make it to the postseason, and we make it to the postseason, and the first season since leaving, we end up having to go up against Trey Lance with his new team. That is a story that I couldn't have written any better. That's crazy. And then over on the AFC, we have the Browns as the 1 seed, the Bills at 2, Titans at 3, Chiefs at 4, Ravens 5, Chargers 6, and the Patriots with the 7th seed. Let's check out this trench boost thing here. Huge day on the ground for you in that last win. Those guys up front really went to work. Well, no, you're wrong. We had a horrible day on the ground. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. The amount of yards rushing your team has against the Saints will determine how much XP each offensive lineman earns. That's actually a pretty big upgrade. We might want to focus on the run this week for that one. I guess we really ran it well in our bye week. I mean, we're so good, we do things when we're not even playing, you know? I guess that's what I'm getting from that. Let's check in on some things. All right, it's been a while, right? It's been a while since we had a video of the Bucs. Let's go and check out the standings first and just get a feel for what the league's looking like. We had a picture of the playoffs, but where are things sitting fully for the NFC? We have the Bucs. Obviously, we're at the number 1 spot. The 49ers right below us. Falcons are right on our tail. They are not out of this yet. So some really good storylines going into this postseason here. We got, obviously, you know, the Falcons, who we ended up splitting with to get some revenge on, and now we potentially could face them a 3rd time. We got the Vikings, who are led by our former quarterback, coming in right now. They're 6-6, so I mean, they have to do some good things if they want to stay in that spot. But overall, it seems like the NFC is sort of weak in certain, you know, divisions. Like, for instance, when you look here, I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I suppose not, but I mean, 4 of the top 5 teams in the NFC are from 2 divisions, right? So the NFC North is is not even represented up there until we get to the 6-6 Vikings. So the North is rough right now. Our division with the Falcons is pretty competitive, but after that, it's nothing to really write home about with, you know, the Panthers and the Saints. As we saw, the Saints are 2-10 right now. But a lot of teams that I sort of anticipated would be a little bit better are struggling. The Cowboys sitting at 500, the Packers 6-7, Lions 5-7. The other teams sort of make a lot of sense, though. It's just those are a few that sort of stood out to me, at least. And then in the AFC, we'll just take a quick rundown here. The Titans doing pretty good at 9-3 this season. Let's go down the list here, see who is at the bottom. So the Texans and Jaguars are down here at the bottom, and the Bengals. Wow. So some tough sledding for some of these teams that we're expecting to see in the postseason talks. And some surprise teams getting up here and sort of making a case for themselves. And now let's take another look at the season stats for our team. So Tyler Chambers, rookie season. I would say that this has been a pretty successful rookie season for Tyler Chambers. 2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. His completion percentage is at 61. Would I like to see that higher? Of course I would. Closer to 65. I would be really comfortable with 65. But he is protecting the ball. 6 interceptions is not that much for a rookie quarterback, especially for somebody who's been throwing the ball a lot. He's thrown the ball 380 times. I'm not upset with these numbers at all. I think he's had a really good season. And as long as he stays on this trajectory, he should easily win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Rachaad White has had a less of a year than normal. He's usually, like I've stated in previous videos, averaging about 6 yards a carry. He's down to 4.5 right now. But he is having a good season. He just hasn't really found the end zone much. That's a lot of thanks to Taquan Samuel stealing the touchdowns most of the time. But the production has been down, right? You know, blame that on, you know, a rookie quarterback, blame that on the playbook, you know, whatever you want to do. But White has had a down year compared to what we've seen out of him the first 2 seasons. Chris Godwin having a pretty good year. We didn't get a chance to see him perform this well a lot. It was more of the sim stats, but we've seen a few games now, the last couple of episodes, where he has really shown that he still got it even in his 9th season. Taylor Wharton having a down year for his 2nd season, sort of a sophomore slump, if you will, but he's still effective. 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. I'm really hoping that we get him more established as the clear number 1. But Godwin is just too good and has been doing it for too long. You can't take away what he's doing, you know? And James Blake has been the epitome of consistency for us. He's always there, it seems. He's always usually good for like 5 catches for 50 yards, sometimes a touchdown. And he's always there on 3rd down. He's been such a safety blanket for Chambers in this season. So overall, I'm happy with how things have gone for us so far. Then going to the defense, it's been Devin White, man. He has sort of stepped right into that Levante David role and has filled it out pretty nicely. He even has 4 sacks and 2 interceptions, so he's not just getting tackles. He is getting involved with all the plays. Sacks right now is led by Frankie Louvu with 10. Jermaine Johnson has crept up now to have 7, which is awesome. Interceptions-wise, Carlton Davis having a good year with 4. And then it's a 3-way tie for 2 with Devin White, Jamel Dean, and Antoine Winfield Jr. So we've had a much better season this year, for sure. The biggest issue I've noticed is the fumble recovery. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fumbles forced and 1 recovery. That is not okay. You at least need to have a 50-50, right? We're having the worst luck in the world right now when it comes to the ball literally bouncing our way and fumbles. And that brings us to this week's opponent, the Saints. So Dontrell Samuel, traded here in week 8 from the Eagles, had a little bit of a rise to fame in his game against us, performed well in some other games in his rookie season. This year, Saints desperately trying to find the future of this team, or at least some type of identity. Send a mid-round pick to Philly, give us Samuel, let's see what he's got, and let's take a look and see where things have gone for him so far this season since he was traded. So, since he had joined up in New Orleans, because he didn't play any games with Philly this year, he's had a rough go of it. Call this the Saints, call it, Samuel not really being as good as we thought. but he's had 832 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He has had better completion percentage than Tyler Chambers, but not nearly as much success. 72.9 is his rating right now, and they are struggling. Now, this is also a situation where this could be a team situation, maybe not good blocking. Maybe the skill positions aren't really helping as much. There's a lot of things that can play into a quarterback failing, but right now it looks as if Dontrell Samuel is not the knight in shining armor that some thought New Orleans was getting when they made that move for Dontrell Samuel. And now let's look at the rest of this team, and this could be sort of the indicator as to why. Kenneth Gainwell is their best running back. We know Gainwell is pretty solid out of the backfield when it comes to catching the ball, but being an in-between runner and a every down runner is not the guy that you want. And the guys behind him, Kendre Miller and Deontay Adams, both very young and still coming into their own. Adams is going to be special, though. I mean, look at that, 93 speed, 97 excel. He could be really good for them down the line. Just right now, he's just not there yet. And then at the receiver position is Chris Olave. They have Ryan Hastings, which isn't a bad receiver, but they don't have much else. Traquan Smith is at 29 years old. A.T. Perry has just really never been able to solidify himself as a good threat, even though the team has a third wide receiver spot open. And then they have Alexander Robinson behind him, who's just a second-year guy trying to stick on the team. Even at tight end, they're struggling. Jawan Johnson's a 75 overall. Foster Moreau is 74. They do have Stephen Collins, who they brought in this season, but he's buried right now behind 2 veterans, and it does not look like he's going to be getting out of their shadows anytime soon. The offensive line, they have Wes Allen here, a young second-year left tackle. He will grow well with either Samuel or whatever quarterback they bring in at the end of the season. Nick Saldiveri, not a guy that you want starting on your line. Eric McCoy in the middle, but 28 years old, going on 29 after this season. He's only an 80 overall, and he's injured. He is out for this week with a hip pointer. So part of their line, the big part of their line is gone. Larry Gillisley, another low-end starter, maybe has some potential down the line, but doesn't look like it right now. And then the best part, Ryan Ramczyk out at the right tackle position. But outside of that, man, this line is not in a good spot. So you can sort of see why not just Samuel, but even a guy like Derek Carr or Cartwright, the other quarterback, might be sort of struggling in this offense. It's not a great team right now. They do have some quality players on defense. They ended up drafting Shaquille Johnston at the top of the draft, and he ended up being an X factor. So what was he picked? I think it was top 10, wasn't it? Let's see. Yeah, pick 10, first round, pick 10, Shaquille Johnston. So very good player there. Isaiah Foskey on the other side. He's at least young. He's got that behind him. Brian Breesy in the middle, along with Kalen Saunders. Jack Sanborn on the outside linebacker position. In the middle, Jonathan Ware, second-year linebacker, along with Anthony Walker Jr. And then they have Pete Werner. So the front seven is really held up by only Shaquille Johnson, and he's not even there yet overall wise. It's just the illusion of what this guy will be at some point in the future for this defense. Secondary, we know they have a pretty good secondary though. Marshawn Lattimore, very, very good player, been doing it for a long time. Joshua Benedict, rookie corner that they picked up, 6'1", 207. So they did have a pretty quality draft. Let's see when he was picked. Third round pick. So that is a really good selection for a third round pick to get a 76 overall corner out of it. St. Juste is at the third spot along with Alontae Taylor. And then they have Tyrann Mathieu at free safety and Ronnie Harrison Jr. at strong safety. So they didn't have a lot of big time picks this year, but 2 of them did pan out to be very, very good. And Deontay Adams is honestly a guy that I could see playing down the line for this team in a much bigger role than he has right now. So Saints, definitely a very young, inexperienced team, which signifies their 2-10 record right now. So with that in mind, let's take a look here and see what do we want to try to focus on this week. I think we definitely want to focus on the pass. We already know Samuel is a little, he's a little trigger happy, right? So let's try and feed into that a little bit. Let's go defend medium pass against the Saints. And then run inside. Actually, you know what? I like that. I do. We know that if there's a strong point of this defense, it's the secondary. We have the trench boost this week for gaining rushing yards, and we want Rachaad White to have some good days. So let's go ahead. We're going to run the ball inside this week. And then for the game plans themselves, I think we want to... I don't think we want to try to sack the quarterback because Samuel does have wheels. So we don't want to force him out of the pocket too much. I would say try to force 3 turnovers. Try to really rattle things, get the young guy freaking out a little bit. We'll leave that there. I think we can get 300 yards of total offense and then win by 17. That should be a necessity. I mean, we have to, this should be an easy win for us. Hopefully it's not a trap game, but it should be an easy win. All right, I'm going to go and do these mini games now, and then we're going to go and do player upgrades before getting to the game. And it is finally time for the player upgrades. Frankie Luvu, our sack leader, is going to get a chance to start this one out. And I think we're going to stick with speed rusher. Yep, just keep piling it on there. That seems to be what he's really excelling at. 2 to finesse, 1 to awareness. Paul Bronson is going to get one. Love to see it. And for him, I have him pretty much balanced out now. So I think what we're going to do now is we're going to try to focus in on play recognition, which should be either zone or slot. So we're going to go zone here, though. Okay, we don't get it. We get 1 to tackle and 3 to zone coverage. So now we have the ability to go slot, and it won't offset man that much next time. Tyler Chambers is going to get one. I'm a little nervous about this, guys. I'm not going to lie. I am a little nervous. We're going to go field general here and hope to God this works. Field general, please tell me it worked. Throw accuracy mid 1, throw accuracy short 2. It did. Okay, so we just flopped field general for scrambler. I love it. I love it. Happy with that. Elijah Cansey. Finally getting some more stuff for him. I think we're going to go run stopper. And he is going to get 1 to awareness and play rec and 2 to tackle. Timmy Baker also going to get 1, and we're going to go straight to power rusher. Keep building up that scheme fit for him. 4 to awareness, 1 to tackle. I like that. He must have been really down bad with awareness to get that much. He has 80 play rec, and his awareness is now a 79. Oh no, it's not. He's got +8 for the one of the things we did for the bye week. I just did to get extra awareness. So all the players are gonna have better awareness this week. Forgot about that. Cody Mauk, and we're gonna go. We'll go with agile here. 2 awareness, impact, run block, and 2 to run block finesse. Nick Smith gets an upgrade. I really want to work him into the game plan more, so we're going to start working a little bit on his slot work here. Build up some of that underneath stuff, not just deep route stuff. And he gets 2 catch in traffic, 1 medium, and 1 short. Najee Flowers, the story of the offseason, or the season for me, in terms of like just finding studs. And this one is tough, man. I'm not sure which one I want to go with here. His zone is pretty bad. So is his tackle and his man play rec. The only really good thing he's got going for him is his hit power, his acceleration, and pursuit. So I feel like I'm just gonna go with zone, honestly. I mean, run support, he would fit the scheme more, but he's already good at hit power. I'd rather see him get a little bit better in the coverage area, so we're gonna go zone this week for him. And that is going to give him 2 awareness, 2 tackle, and 1 jumping. So he gets nothing for zone anyway. Perfect. Before we get to the game, I just wanted to put this little clip in because I don't know if this is going to be all together or not. I'm still having PC issues, guys. I don't know what the issue is. I've been trying my best to figure it out, and I just keep having the same stuff happen where I am just using the PC. It will work fine for random amounts of time, and then all of a sudden it just shuts down and restarts. So I've been holding off on recording the second part of this video because if I start like if I start recording a game and it crashes, I don't know if that video is going to automatically save or if it's going to be corrupted or just gone completely. So I've been really hesitant, and I'm hoping to God that you guys are watching this and the whole game is there and the video is there, because I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit that I can't make content because it's bothering me. So I just wanted to say that really quickly, and now we're gonna get back into the game, and hopefully this is a full video and I don't have to end the video with, you know, another bad situation. All right, here we go. Finally, kickoff time against the Saints, and we are gonna start things off by taking a look at Dontrell Samuel. We saw the stats before the game. He's not had a very good start to this season as a starting quarterback for the Saints, but we also know that this Saints team has a lot of work to do as a whole. So let's see what he's got. 1st and 10. He's going to take the snap right away. A big drop back. He's under pressure, and right away he goes down. It's Jermaine Johnson immediately getting back there for the sack. That's a big time way to open the game up for this defense. We've started to see that our defense has been able to garner more pressure as of late, as they hand it off to, that was Adams, Deontay Adams. I have him worked in a little bit to where he does get on the field. So we'll be able to see him from time to time, which is good. 3rd and 16 now. And we're going to drop back off of the coverage, and nothing there. Nothing there at all. They tried to go for a quick little pass outside in the flats. It did not work. An easy 3 and out to open things up. And because we had them backed up, we are going to get to start with the ball out near midfield. So Tyler Chambers is going to have a short field to work with in this opening series. And again, see the stats there. 2,800 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Hasn't been the most yards, you know, thrown. He's averaging between like 200 to like 250 a game. But it's been a very successful first season for the rookie. Chambers immediately goes outside looking for Wharton, has to come back to the ball, and it's going to end up going for no gain. Pete Werner there on the stop. And it was a quick throw. Wharton tried to make something happen, but the Saints defense rallied. And that's going to lead us to 2nd down. Samuel in the backfield. He's going to take the... No, it's a read option to Chambers, who's got some space. And he gets down inside the 40. Nice pickup on the ground. We don't see Chambers take off a lot, but when he does, he can make something happen with his feet. He has the ability to do so. That's going to give us a fresh set. Hand off to White. He gets a nice crease, and he'll get about 5 or 6. They'll mark him at the 34. A good pickup there. Now 2nd and 5. We got 2 split to the right. It looks like Wharton is in the slot with Palmer on the outside. Hand off to Samuel, and there was nothing there. It's going to be a loss of 1 as Jonathan Ware, the 2nd-year linebacker, got back there to make some plays for the Saints. And now we find ourselves in our first 3rd down of the day. Chambers with the snap. Quick pass over the top, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Palmer, but as it has gone all season, he does not connect. And that's going to lead us to try this long 51-yard field goal. McClellan has been pretty clutch from these deep kicks. Let's see if he can do it again. He does not. I had to say something. It hits the left upright. And the Saints are going to take over with a 0-0 ball game. And that is something we don't see too often out of our kicker. Samuel has a 2nd shot. He's going to start off with a handoff. A nice gap off the left side, and he is free out to the 49-yard line. Is Kenneth Gainwell on the stretch play. And we talked that Gainwell isn't the best all-around back, and he's not, but he does have speed and quickness, and you saw it there. He got outside, used the blocks to his full advantage as he takes it up the middle this time for a short gain of about 3 or 4. Well, last time I talked crap about a player and said they weren't something they thought they were, they ended up proving me wrong. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. Oh, and there goes Deontay Adams. The run game coming in clutch on this drive for the Saints. As Adams takes it down to the 29. I have a feeling that in the very short amount of time Deontay Adams is going to be the guy here in New Orleans. He's got the tools to do it. Samuel in trouble. He goes down again. They tried the play action, but Luvu and White were not falling for it one bit, and both of them get back there. As soon as he turned his head around, he was already met with a full-on blitz. 2nd and 20. Samuel now he's got to throw it. Quick one over the middle, a wide open player, and he's gone. It's Hastings for the touchdown. What a turn of events for the Saints. They opened up with a horrible drive, and then Samuel answers back with a beautiful throw to get them on the board first. And that was right over the middle. White doesn't drop far enough back. They catch us in sort of a cover 2 look. Safeties were split, and it's an easy seam route for the touchdown. Hand off to White on 1st down, and he'll get 5 yards as we try to respond after the Saints touchdown. And I mentioned before that this should be a game that we win, but this also has the spells for a trap game. Plus, it's a divisional opponent, which means it's going to be a battle regardless of the records at play. Though even though the Saints are sitting at 2-10, we can't guarantee that just because they've had a tough season that this is going to be an easy game for us. We have to be on our P's and Q's today, and so far they're proven that that's to be true. 3rd and 3 here. Play action under pressure. He gets rid of it to Morgan, and we'll get that 1st down. Little play action, fullback flat. Love that. I love that play, man. I really do. It always seems to get you those few yards that you need. And it gets the fullback involved. Makes them feel a little special sometimes. We'll go back to Samuel, who just gets annihilated behind the line. A loss of 2, his 3rd carry of the day, and that time it's Foskey on the stop. Saints not budging up front at all for us. And White will check back in. He'll take the pitch. And, he works his way through all of the traffic there with a beautiful little juke move. And he gets us, I think, 13 yards to get us that 1st down. Wow, that was an impressive run. There was a little bit of congestion down there. He worked through it really well. And we'll follow it up with a short pass to Palmer. Get us 4 yards. And we'll go right back to White. This time, however, he gets caught up on the line as Kalen Saunders, the defensive tackle for New Orleans, goes down. And he will exit the game. And we're, once again, 3rd in that long, short, medium range. And this time a beautiful throw over the middle. Trey Palmer able to make the catch. And it's down to the 27. And now we're finally rolling a little bit. Let's see what we got on this one here. We're going to go back to the ground again. And White will get about 7. Yes, 7 yards. 5 carries, 30 yards for him. He has had a pretty good day. It's just when Samuel gets the ball that the Saints seem to they just know what's up, right? They just yeah, we're not letting this happen. And somehow he's able to fall forward, and he'll be marked short somehow. I'm not sure how. It felt like he landed 2 yards past the line to gain. Maybe a knee hit or something that I did not see in that little quick clip. But either way, it's 3rd down again. Chambers looking short. It's caught. That was a tough catch. It really was. I mean, he got the hit put on him, but he holds on, and even though it only went for 1.5 yards, it was a clutch 1.5 yards. Gives us that fresh set, and that's going to end the 1st quarter. After one, the Saints leading 7-0 as we start our drive into the red zone here, trying to answer back and hopefully tie this game up as we flip sides of the field. And now it is back to business. Chambers looking end zone. Got it. Palmer for the touchdown. Trey Palmer, 3rd catch of the day and the 1st score of the day. And we'll tie things up at 7 apiece to open up this 2nd quarter. And they have tried to connect on this multiple times throughout the season, and a lot of the times it goes nowhere. It hits the turf. But it seems as if they've been working together, practicing more. Chambers is starting to feel himself a little bit more, not be as trigger happy, if you will. And it leads to our 1st touchdown. First and 10 for Samuel. Under pressure again, he tries to get out. He does, somehow getting past the defender and makes it an 8-yard gain. And that right there, that special play that Samuel can bring to the table is exactly what the Saints were looking for. They wanted a guy who can improvise a little bit, who can get out of the pocket, and when things do fail, he can make something out of it. As Gainwell, what was he doing there? And that's part of the reason right there that Gainwell, I just don't think is the long-term answer here. He had an opening, like, he had a lane, he had a hole to run through. He would have got the first, but he runs sideways. And that, the same hole that Adams just hit right there to get the first down. A very strange decision there by Gainwell. I wouldn't be surprised if Adams isn't the starter by the end of the season, to be honest with you. Little fake end around, a handoff to Gainwell. And it goes for a nice chunk, 2nd and 4. Samuel again, quick pass over the middle. Push backwards, but it's going to be enough for the first as Traquan Smith, the veteran receiver, making the play. First and 10, I formation here for New Orleans. The handoff, big lane up the middle for Gainwell down to the 41. He can run it well when he doesn't have to think about it. But when he has to think about it, we saw what happened on that second down run just a series ago, or just a few plays ago, actually. And there's another one, and that one goes for 2. They're definitely keeping things very balanced on offense. They've actually had a very good approach to this game so far. Samuel over the middle. Hastings does an amazing job of coming back and spinning to the football to make a great back shoulder throw, and a good throw by, or catch, I mean, and a good throw by Samuel to put it right where only Hastings could get it. He has worked in the slot so far today quite a bit. And of course, that is where that touchdown came from on the prior drive. Now they'll go back to this I formation. Gainwell up the middle. He is met by Vita Vea almost immediately. He'll get dropped after 2 yards. But Samuel showing some composure and some promise here in the actual game, similar to what he did when we played him as a Philadelphia Eagle. Takes off down to the 8. Dontrell Samuel, he's pulling out the stops that he's pulling out all the tricks that we saw in Philly. Handoff, nothing. Bronson there to trip him up. And I believe it was Davis who finished him off at the 6. 2nd and goal. Samuel drops back, looking to run again. He will, and he gets in for the touchdown, beating Anthony Moore to the edge. And Dontrell Samuel, ladies and gentlemen, having himself a day so far. Chambers' first and only drive, 5 of 5, 43 yards, and of course that touchdown to Trey Palmer as he comes back onto the field. Offset I, Samuel in the backfield. Morgan in motion. We know this is going to be. Hand off to Samuel. This time he gets a lane. Almost gets past the second defender, but he is unable to break the tackle. Still goes for a nice pickup of 7 yards. And finally, Samuel able to get some positivity going in his day. We'll follow it up with a play act. No read option for Chambers. Breaking tackles. He fumbled it. No! No way! Get him! Oh my God! Chambers! You gotta go down, man! Oh, that's definitely a fumble. Golly! Jonathan Ware, second-year linebacker, recovers it and almost returns it all the way for a touchdown. And now the Saints have the opportunity to make this a commanding lead. Handoff. Gainwell stopped. Devin White put his helmet on him, and he did not let go for a second. Excellent spot, or excellent stop, I should say. As now it's a handoff up the middle, and that time, though, it's an easy score. Easy touchdown. And it's Kendre Miller in for the score. The Saints going to go up 21-7 thanks to the fumble from Tyler Chambers. All right, we're back on offense. We can't let that one fumble derail the whole game, because up until that point, I think our offense has worked really well. Chambers just has to stop trying to be Superman. You're doing it again. Oh my God. He kicked it to the defender. He literally soccer kicked it into the defender's hands. You can't make this up. What is happening right now? All right, we are back here on offense, opening up the second half. It's been pretty much just nothing after that last fumble return. It's still 28-7. As Chambers comes back on the field, handed off to White. And wow, the Saints were ready for that. They had people up on the edges for the outside run, and they had sort of a delayed reaction in the middle, but it was just in time to shut down Rachaad White and fill in those gaps nicely. 2nd and 9. And we're going to go back to the run for some stupid reason. And now Rachaad White is hurt. Great. Oh, man. He's on the sideline, so hopefully he comes back. But until then, it's going to be Samuel. And maybe some Rashad Barr. We'll see. Chambers over the middle. Delivers a beautiful throw to Palmer. And he's gone just like that. 75 yards to the house. Chambers stood tall in the pocket. There was pressure coming straight down the middle. Look at the pressure right there from where. And he holds on. He waits until he knows he has to throw it. Delivers a dot to Trey Palmer in the seam, and we get a score back to hopefully right this ship. All right, and here comes Dontrell Samuel onto the field. They've had the 2 touchdowns early in the game, and then they had 2 touchdowns sort of given to them because of fumbles. And since then, they haven't had the most luck. It's been a back and forth, just punt, punt, punt type of situation. And, you know, it is a game where the score looks really bad. Even before that touchdown, too, we just got very bad. But when you think about that whole score really coming from 2 plays, and there we go, Timmy Baker. Get us another sack, 4th on the day. That's a big play from the defense. But as I was trying to say, the game hasn't gone that bad for us individually. It's just the circumstances of the game. And there's Baker again, back to back. There we go, man. We've been waiting for Timmy Baker to show us the signs that he showed us in his rookie season. And that right there is exactly what I'm talking about. 2 back-to-back plays, forcing the punt from their own end zone. And now we should have an opportunity to make this a manageable game again. I would love to see another return from Nick Smith. As you can tell, I'm actually talking through some of these punts and kickoffs because, like, I'm sick of missing out on it, to be quite honest with you guys. And I'm sure you guys are sick of, like, the awkward silence as you guys see our kick returner take it all the way to the house before I realize what's going on. So I've been, no, thank God, thank you to whoever the hell number 70 is. Oh my God, my heart just dropped. The ball has been so slippery for us today. That is our 3rd fumble. And we are just not having a good time. Shaquille Johnston now down. That's a big blow to the Saints. He is their prized. And when you lose a guy like Johnston, who is a very high draft pick, has got a lot of expectations here in New Orleans for the future. As Chambers looking deep, he meets it with Cotton. Jesus. Otten, Cade Otten, not Cotton. Holy cow, I suck. But a big play nonetheless, down to the 11. Chambers taking a shot on 3rd and medium. I like it. Sometimes you can catch the defense napping a little bit because they're expecting a short play just to get the sticks, to get that fresh set. But we go over the top and it pays off. 37 yards that play was, and now empty set here at the 11. Chambers takes the snap. Immediately fires, and oh my God, he didn't put it up high enough. And another young defender, it's Benedict, got his hand up in there, made the stop. You got to put that up, though. If you put that up for Godwin, that's a touchdown all day. Hand off to Samuel, and there's nothing there. Yeah, no, they shut that down. And now Rashad Barr checks in, which means to tell you that Rachaad White is still hurt. And it's, oh my God, we tried to do a screen, but Rashad Barr got stuck on a lineman. Madden 22 vibes from that. If you guys know, you know. And we're gonna have to settle for 3. That is a disappointing way to end that drive. That was not what I was hoping for. But we'll take it. And now that score is now down, or that lead is now down to 11. Dontrell Samuel and company back on offense. Miller is checked in at running back. He's gonna take the handoff. And he dives headfirst into that gap, and it only gets him 2 yards. What do you guys think about the new helmets, by the way? That Axiom or whatever thing that he's wearing. I think I've said this in another video. I think they are absolutely one of the worst helmets ever. I think they are so hideous. I do not doubt that they are probably better for players' health, right? And like preventing concussions, obviously. I'm not disagreeing with that at all, but they look horrible. I don't know. That's just my take. Handoff, and they'll get the first down, and that time is Gainwell. All 3 of these running backs have had some success in some fashion today, but it still shows that, like, you see when Deontay Adams runs, he just seems to have a little bit more oomph in his step, if you know what I mean. Samuel looking to take a shot. It's batted down. Jamel Dean doing what he does, breaking up the play. It's a one-on-one situation, and that's what we need. We need more plays from our defense to keep us in this game. Play action rollout. Samuel looks short for the tight end, and it is caught, but it's going to be a short gain of 1, and Foster Moreau hasn't figured out he's hurt yet. Oh, now he just figured it out. He had to sit down first. I love how the animation is him, like, literally, like, throwing his arm out of his socket in celebration, and that's the injury he had. Oh, he dropped it. Bronson got his hand in there. I thought he caught it for a second. Excellent stop. And we're going to get the ball back. I really thought he caught that, man. I'm not lying. I thought he was going to catch it. But hey, we'll take it. And there goes Nick Smith. Yeah, they're not giving him any room to return. And here we go. Last drive out, we had some success. Of course, it stalled. We have a 28-17 deficit right now. If we can get in the end zone on this drive, it could change things heading into the 4th quarter. I got to make an adjustment here. 1 second. All right, it flipped sides of the field. I just went in and now Rachaad White is back. Are you kidding me right now? Literally as soon as I did that? Okay. Apparently Rachaad White got uninjured on that very play. I went out to change Rachaad White ahead of Samuel in the regular running back depth chart because our offense is more suited for an elusive back. Oh, there's a big play to Wharton. That's what I'm talking about, Chambers. Look at that. Wharton has not had much involvement this season when we watch games, but they're starting to creep in more and more. 4 catches, 42 yards after that absolute beautiful play there. As Chambers drops back again, looking, got Godwin, and he is stopped at the 1. I thought he was going to push the pile. Talk about some upper body strength from them Saints defenders. Man, they stopped him dead in his tracks. 2 back-to-back huge throws from Tyler Chambers gets us down to the 1. Oh, quick throw. It's incomplete. I don't know why you didn't throw it to the tight end in the flat. He was wide open. I mean, I appreciate you trying to get, Wharton a touchdown. Everybody wants to see a Taylor Wharton touchdown, but I'm pretty sure Cade Otton was wide open. And off Samuel, he dives in, easy touchdown, and now we are back in the game, folks. 2 fumbles cannot keep us down. 28-24, and we're going to go for 2. I like this. If we get it, it's a 3-point game. If we don't, we still need a touchdown regardless, and we don't get it. Okay, hype ended very quickly there. All right, here we go, the Saints. Dontrell Samuel has watched this lead diminish from 28-7 down to 28-23 as he enters the game here to end this 3rd quarter, and right away, it's Najee Flowers on the safety blitz, getting the sack. Man, do I love this safety, dude. I really do. The last guy I expected to make an impact on this defense, and he has just been all over the field all season. Samuel, oh man, and all of it goes away with one beautiful throw to Hastings. Ryan Hastings, man, he is developing nicely here in New Orleans. And him and Samuel, if Samuel can find his rhythm, and he can continue to play like this and hold on to this job here in New Orleans, that could be a great duo or QB wide receiver combo for years to come. But man, what a beautiful throw. 2nd and 8, and it undoes everything that Flowers just did for us. That's the worst part. Throws it short, has to come back for it, and Izzian gets him out of bounds at the 36. And now it is 3rd and 6. Or 3rd and 5, I'm sorry. Samuel looking for it all, and he's got him! Finally connecting with Chris Olave, his first catch of the day, and it goes for a big 23-yard connection on 3rd down. And the Saints now looking to sort of recapture the momentum of this game. Samuel, all the room in the world, breaking off of tackles. Why can't he fumble? Huh? Why can't he fumble? Jesus, Chambers got touched and he fumbled the ball. This guy just got smacked by our safety and he just stood there. There we go, forced an incompletion. That's what I want to see. 2nd and 10. Another handoff. Oh, wow, he got held up on something there, and it did not work. All right, 3rd and 9 to open up this 4th quarter for New Orleans. Smith in motion. They'll hand it off to him. And look at the play by Frankie Louvu. Oh, boy. Jamel Dean is hurt. That's the first time we've had an injury to a corner happen in the game. And he's going back to the locker room. That could lead to some serious issues for us. But we will force the field goal from New Orleans. It's up. It's good. And now it is back to an 8-point lead. All right, here we go. 4th and final quarter. We are back on the field, down by 8. Chambers takes the snap. And it's incomplete. Godwin didn't even go for the ball. I don't know if he got hit a little early or what, but it just seemed like he didn't even try to catch it. 2nd and 10, here we go. Drops back, looking, and he throws an interception. And it's Benedict. No, it's Taylor. Oh my God. That was probably, that might have just cost us the game, folks. The momentum that the Saints were starting to build back up again, and now another turnover, 3rd one of the day. And now they take over with the ball in field goal range already. Man, we almost need a turnover ourselves, or like a couple of big plays from this defensive line. Oh, there we go. Okay, well, 3rd and 8. They're still in field goal range, but if we can still... Man, we need like a big sack here or a turnover to try and push them out of field goal range, or at least make it more difficult, if you will. And it's going to be a rollout. And neither is going to happen because Hastings once again gets open in the slot and makes us pay down to the 12. Wow. I really wish the Saints would play like this in their sim stats, because they actually have a pretty decent team right now. Samuel, end zone, it's batted down. It's Duke Shelley, who has been called in to fill in the absence of Jamel Dean. 2nd and 10. And there's a nice stop. Gainwell got the handoff, and Bronson was immediately there to bring him down for a loss of 3. You don't see the corners making too many plays like that, but Bronson likes to get his head in there and get involved with the run game. I like it. Another handoff. That's not going to work. Jermaine Johnson gets the stop. Him and Louvu have been covering that very well today, the few times they have tried to make it work. And that is going to force another field goal. I'm still not happy that we're giving up all these field goals, but obviously it's better than touchdowns given the situation. But now we find ourselves once again down by at least 2 touchdowns. Okay. Well, we had nothing done in the last drive. We had to punt it, and the Saints take over at the 38. I don't know what, man, but Chambers is like, he had those like 3 really good drives. Well, I'd say 4 good drives aside from the fumbles. And then he threw that interception, and since then, he just has not looked the same. Last drive, he was throwing it in the dirt early, sort of standing in the pocket, afraid to, I don't know if he was like, didn't have anybody to go to or what, but he's like spinning around in the pocket and almost had a sack. It just hasn't looked good. And the defense, I mean, obviously now down Jamel Dean, who's been a tremendous player for us, sort of holding things down on the outside, is out. And the Saints smell blood in the water right now. There we go. That's what we needed. That is what we needed. Frankie Luvu with the sack. Our 7th sack of the day, ladies and gentlemen. We have been getting back there. I mentioned that this offensive line was hurting. They didn't have the best linemen. A lot of young guys, a lot of low overall players, and it has shown in this game as Johnson, the tight end, gets the catch. We have been the best team in the league this season with points allowed. The best. And today, the Saints have dropped 34 on us. That's not cool, man. Up the middle goes Samuel. Would he fumble the ball? Why doesn't he fumble the ball? This man is holding on to it like a running back, where Chambers is pretending like he's trying to hold on to it with just his hands covered in like freaking butter, melted butter, or like wax or something. What is happening here? And there goes Adams on the screen. And he'll get 4. But like honest to God, like this dude is acting like Brucey out there in longest yard. I should not have eaten that popcorn. Just dropping the ball. And then Samuel over here is like, I don't fumble. I just don't. You can have your 89 hit power free safety or strong safety hit me. It doesn't matter. That's baloney. 1st and 10. And Samuel gonna go right back to Gainwell. No, nobody there. Not a soul. They score here. I mean, it's already pretty much game. I mean, it's 3 minutes left. We're down by 11. But there was a slight chance if we didn't give up this final drive here. And there is another one. They're just milking this clock. We're doing nothing to stop it. I mean, we're going to be lucky to get the ball back with like a minute and a half to go. Unless, of course, they score like on this play or we get a turnover. But they are running it down to 1 second left, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning here in the 4th quarter. I mean, if we can somehow get a stop here, we could technically tie the game with 2 touchdowns, but we would need a miracle. It's going to be 37-23 with about a minute and 50 left. All right. Wow, look at how good I was. Minute 50 left. Right on the dot. Oh, man. Here we go, Chambers. What do you got? Oh, you're going to throw it short. Oh, that's helpful. All right, okay, let me take that back. We got positive yards, okay? I'm gonna accept that as we got positive yards and we stopped the clock. So we're gonna count that. Uh-oh. Wow. I don't know what Jones was doing there, but he just like gave up on the block. As soon as the dude beat him, he's like, okay, fine, just go ahead, run through. And off target. Boy. Well, we have to go for it. Yeah. Man, what a horrible game this ended up being. Turnovers are definitely obviously what caused this game to take place, as Chambers goes deep and it's incomplete. And that is right there is going to wrap this game up, folks. All right, let's take a look at the stats after that horrible game. We sort of know what happened, right? The turnovers just killed us. Tyler Chambers took a couple of sacks, right? But it was the fumbles, the interception. It just led to an insurmountable thing that we just could not find our way out of that. You know, he finished actually with a decent day outside of that. Completion percentage was down 55%, but he had a 97.6 rating still, 259, 2 touchdowns, and of course that interception towards the end of the game. Dontrell Samuel, though, he had himself a really good game. 106.4 for his rating, 171 yards, 1 touchdown. The reason his stats aren't very high is because they spent a lot of time starting from our territory or very close to it because of the turnovers, because of some of the failed drives that stalled out with short punts. So he really didn't need to throw the ball all that much. But when he did pretty well. 15 of 22, 68%, and no turnovers, which is, of course, the good thing. He also had 6 for 57 on the ground and that touchdown. He was a do-it-all quarterback for the Saints. He was that guy. I don't know why the sim stats look so horrible, but he played very well. Kenneth Gainwell, 21 for 72. He had a lot of carries. Didn't really seem to get much going, though. He did average a first down, I suppose, every 4 carries, which is what you want out of a running back, but it definitely wasn't anything very explosive. Rachaad White had a decent day for when he was involved. 9 for 41, faced that injury. Deontay Adams, oh man, that guy's gonna be special. I'm telling you right now. 6 for 37, 6.2 yards. He is definitely the future of that backfield. We don't want to talk about Tyler Chambers trying to run the ball. Three carries, 2 fumbles. Not good at all. And receiving, Trey Palmer, 4, 111, and 2 scores. That's his best game he's had in about 2 seasons. Honest to God. Ryan Hastings, another really, really good player that the Saints have moving forward. Second-year guy, 5 for 97 and a touchdown. He was making some huge plays from the slot today and really giving Samuel a great receiving threat to look for. Everybody else just didn't really get much involved. Wharton had 5 for 49, but Godwin 257. You know, it wasn't much to be done today because we were throwing interception, fumbling the ball like crazy. You know, it was not a good day overall for us. Defensively, though, we brought the pressure. Jermaine Johnson had 2 sacks. Timmy Baker had 2. Frankie Louvu with 1.5. And then we had Najee Flowers get 1. And then, of course, we saw Devin White with the half a sack to go along with Frankie Louvu. But Jermaine Johnson, man, really starting to step things up. Timmy Baker having one of his better days of the year. So there are some bright spots to take away from what happened today. Just not a lot. But dude, Najee Flowers, man, this guy is not playing like a 68 overall. He just isn't. He is playing very good for his overall and for his expectations, man. I can't say that enough. Let's check on the injuries. Oh yeah, trench boost. I know we're not getting nothing from that. Yeah, we expected more for sure. We got 1,000 XP, which, I mean, hey, that's not bad. It's something, right? So there's that. Let's check on injuries to see if any of those stuck. I don't think they did, but you never know. Okay, so all of those were just game injuries. So Jamel Dean will be back. Rachaad White is fully off the injury report. Also, we want to check on the players that we scouted before we end this video. Sorry if this video has been out of whack, guys. Okay, I explained in that little input that I did right before the game. I actually am recording all of this separately than I did that little portion because I was so scared of recording the game. I recorded the first part of this video, everything leading up to me talking about the PC problems 2 or 3 days ago. And I started noticing problems again. And so when I was recording this portion of it, I literally stopped recording and started recording like probably 8 times because I was so scared the computer was going to crash and I was going to lose the entire video or something. So thankfully, I got all the clips I needed. And you guys are watching the entirety of the video without any lost information out of it. But that also meant that I was just sort of out of sorts, right? And even on top of all that, of me worrying about that, I've been away, man. You know what I mean? Like with this PC issues, I've been away from recording for like 2 weeks. I'm sort of rusty. So apologize if the video's a little different than normal. But let's take a look at the guys that we ended up getting the extra boosting on for the scouting to see what we found out. Oh my God, guys, I can't even remember who I did it for. Who in the hell did I do it on? What is wrong with me? Ooh, I know I did it on the center, right? Yeah, Jared Greer. So Jared Greer was one of the players that we did it on. The center that I said in the beginning of the season could definitely play all 3 interior positions for us. So 6'3", 318, we know 80% of his stuff. He's great to elite in a lot of the major categories on the physicals. And then here on his actual attributes, he's got A awareness, A impact, A run block, A lead block, B pass block power, B run block power. So it looks like he is going to be a heck of a player. It's just about where that injury lands, right? Is it going to be like a, you know, in the high 70s to low 80s, or is it going to be like in the 60s? I've seen for the most part that a lot of injuries on these draft prospects are usually high 70s. I actually made a custom draft class for the G2 League that I mentioned to you guys a couple of episodes ago. If you guys haven't already checked that out, you really should. It's in my I have it linked in my featured channels on my channel here. But I made a custom draft class. I went through the entire thing and I fixed up players, and I, sort of gave them good attributes in certain areas and just made some more unicorn players in some areas and some sleeper picks. And it was really fun. But in doing that, I saw all the ratings, and majority of players, even with D to F ratings, are like 77 to 79 and like 80, 81. So it's really just a few players that you'll get. And I've actually noticed this mostly with corners, and they'll just randomly have like 50 injury or 45 injury. So I'm not too concerned as much anymore about that. I'd like to obviously have a better rating there, but now knowing that majority of them are high 70s, low 80s, I'm not too concerned with that injury. So hopefully that's what he has, because he looks like a really good prospect everywhere else. And then I know I was the only offensive lineman. Did I do somebody on the defensive line? Oh wait, no, we did it on a corner and a safety, right? Yeah, we did Amari Moore, didn't we? Yeah, okay, that's what I did. I did it on Amari Moore to get him fully unlocked. Okay, so here was Amari Moore. He's top 5 talent, round 1 projection. So he is one of the best players in this draft class. Physicals, all way off the charts. Great tool elite in almost everything. Skills, we know he's got F injury. But look at all those A's. Awareness, man, press, tackle, catching, hit power. Zone is a B. A lot of really, really good attributes. C for play rec is, I mean, it sucks. You'd like to see a B or an A, obviously, but with everything else being so high, you know that he is going to be a special talent. And with being top 5 talent, I mean, play rec is probably going to be one of the few things you have to upgrade. And with it being that low, it'll probably end up being something you get more frequently because it's lower than the other ones that are, in the 80s. And then we did one on Dominic Alexander, who's also top 5. Oh boy. A free safety with top 5 talent? You don't see that very often. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Physicals. We know his physicals were good. Skills, A awareness, A zone, A play rec, A finesse, A injury, B hit power, B tackle, B man. Dude, this guy can do everything. B pursuit. Stamina is an F, so that's not good. But again, if it's high 70s, low 80s, I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is. But he has got so many A's in all like the best categories too. Wow. I know it sounds crazy, but man, would I like to draft Dominic Alexander. Wow, you don't see that very often for safeties. But you know what? Now that we have that, I can look at some of these other guys and maybe, realize that maybe there is some more good safeties in this class, because there are some guys that are sort of comparable to that of Alexander and what the ratings were before. So we'll take a look and see. But I mean, we know Ryan Neal is not going to be a long-term solution. Najee Flowers, man, call me crazy, but I feel like I might want to try and build him into be the next strong safety. And that would just leave us finding somebody to eventually take over for Antoine Winfield. So, wow. But I did not expect to see a top 5 talented safety. You just don't see that too often. Let's see where he's at on the all-time, like the all list. Okay, he's ranked 21st player. And where do they have him getting drafted? I think it was like 10? Yeah, 10 to the Steelers. Dang. I know for a fact we're probably not going to be up there picking unless we do some absolutely crazy trading. They have Amari Moore going later at 12, though. So 2 top 5 players potentially available outside of the top 5, and we know about it. We know that they're that good. And maybe we'll end up coming into something good later on in the season. Who knows? We still got a lot of football left, and we also have a lot of decisions to make going into the offseason for the draft. So, and that will bring us to the end of this episode. Again, guys, I am really, really sorry about all of the problems that I've had the last couple of weeks. I wish that I was better with computers to where I could fix a lot of my own problems. I'm just not. Maybe that's something I need to work on, but obviously it's not going to be something that I can just, snap my fingers and have happen. I am actively working to try and find out what my issues are with this PC. I will continue to try recording as much as possible. I'm just scared that if I record, especially in the middle of a game, and it freezes and closes on me, that I'll lose the video footage. So maybe I can try to do what I did today, where I'm like every series or two, I'm stopping my recording and restarting and just having like 10 to 15 different clips that I have to merge together in DaVinci. And hopefully that will help me keep things going, because I really am like been legitimately upset the last couple of weeks that this has been affecting my channel. And obviously, I mean, you guys know YouTube does not care about, you know, your problems, and it shouldn't. It's an ever turning wheel that always keeps going. Whether you're on the ride or not, the ride is always going. And it's tough, man, especially when you're a smaller creator like me, when you're actually having a sort of a good push like I was having. You know, I was gaining like, gosh, it seemed like 100 to 200 subs every few days for a little bit there with the tip videos, and something like this just completely crashes everything, you know. It really does suck. And I hope that this video finds a lot of my viewers and whatnot, and that you guys are still around waiting for my videos or paying attention to the channel, because man, I know how it is on YouTube, man. I've been there obviously as a viewer. I always have been. You know, sometimes a creator stops uploading and then you sort of like, you get on to other things, which is what YouTube does. It keeps feeding you, and then you lose a viewer sometimes in that sense, is what I'm trying to say. You know, because your videos aren't popping up on their newsfeed, so now their homepage is changing a little bit, and then when you finally do decide to upload again, or can in my scenario, you know, they've already moved on. Maybe they found another Madden person to watch. You know, they're not as interested or as invested anymore in the story that you were telling, and it's not anything that I can complain about, because that's the way that this business works. It really sucks, and it's really frustrating. So I do apologize, and for any of you guys who are still here watching and were waiting patiently for me to return, I greatly appreciate that, and hopefully I can find workarounds moving forward to not have any more interruptions into my upload schedule. So with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this content and you want to see more, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that bell notification. I will see you guys next time.